Wow. Wow. New York MC KRS-One once said on his diss track, "The bridge is over. Manhattan keeps making it. Brooklyn keeps taking it. Bronx keeps creating it. And Queens keeps on faking it." Well, Queens and Long Island did not fake anything tonight, as Warren Haynes came to guest yet again, and it was so right. So tonight we'll talk to some fans that were at the show. But without further ado, we got to get this post-show stream on the go. It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home. What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here. What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28, 1998, and if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started, and I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, you know, we're at the very end, and then when Roy passed.
But Dave really, this is the thing, Dave has put, Rashawn has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. Long Island, what up? Uniondale, Merrick. Ron Conkema. Hempstead, Smithtown, what up? Port Jeff, what up? Oyster Bay was popping. Queens gets the money. Jamaica, what up? Flushing, what up? Corona, what up? Uniondale, what up? Montuck, what up? Queens Boulevard, what up? Huntington, what up? Shout out to all the punk rockers, alternative rockers from Long Island. Taking Back Sunday, what up? Brand New, what up?
Man, you sound good. Just saying check, check, 1, 2, check, check, 1, 2.
Speaking of taking back Sunday, this set list is not cute without the E. It's not cut from the team. Okay. This was a banger.
Bruh. Bruh.
This was a banger. So we have people that are on deck ready to go. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that we's in this, and we're gonna be talking about this show with people that were at the show. So our first guest is gonna be DMB Pit Boss. I'm gonna give him a call. We'll get to Zach. He's on route to get back to the crib to get better reception. We'll look to try to reach out to Michael Wheel, and then I'm gonna see if we can get a hold of Michael S as well, possibly depending time permitting as well here. But thank you guys for joining this show. This tour, to me, already surpasses 2016, and the reason I say that is because 2016 had special moments for sure. But you did not have the start, like you did not have the run of stuff nonstop again and again and again. You have a memorable Gorge weekend. You have some memorable shows here and there, but it was not like this. 2013, June of 2013 rivals this because you had some special stuff coming out. But in the post-Caravan era, this tour is arguably the best, or is building momentum the best, is incorporating stuff, right? It's not about the tour debuts. 7 tour debut today. I could care less. No offense. If that's your favorite song, cool. It's not about the liberations. To me, yes, there were cool liberations tonight, but they were both covers. And we'll talk to the different people about that. When you have American Baby intro played 3 out of the last 4 shows, and the only reason it was not played 4 is because SPAC was a 2-night stand. When you have Big Eye Fish being played for the 4th time this year, and if we go to the stats for Big Eye Fish, right, that's more times this year than any other year post-pandemic, and there's just as many this year as there were the last 2 years for a song that I thought went missing, and I was extremely disappointed went missing. Guys, they haven't played Louisiana Bayou since Summerfest, right? And I say that because that song does have an awesome jam at the end, but to me, the verses are trash. You may like it, right? And in replacement, they are busting out American Baby intro. They have Break Free. I can't remember the last time they played You and Me. But Boa has 5 plays already this year. Lionel Graves has 12. And everything that makes that Bayou Jam great with Buddy and Tim, we're seeing that in other portions, whether it's Tim and Joe Lawler, whether it's Tim and Warren Haynes, whether it's Buddy just being able to be set free to play some amazing piano parts. So everything, you may like a song that may have went away, that may be shelved, but every good portion of what you could pick from any song is being incorporated into me what are better songs. And that's subjective, but the energy on the message boards, the energy at the shows, this band knows that there are a lot of fans in these, from here to West Palm Beach, for most of these shows that are hardcore fans. Yes, the majority of the crowd's still casual, but they understand that this part of the tour people are traveling to. and they are catering to it. And also, they don't care about if a song, they're opening with Virginia in the Rain. They don't care. They love that song this year. It's a song I love. But they're saying, we're going to play it. We don't care. We're going to bust out. We're going to do different stuff. We have Ocean and the Butterfly at the E1. We have Virginia in the Rain as an opener. We have Melissa and Cortez back to back. They don't care about two covers back to back. That's what they feeling. We're going to have Warren Haynes come to two different spots in the NYC tri-state area in the same tour. The band sounds great. The band is experimenting. The band is improving its cohesiveness. And if you want to hear Ants and you want to hear other stuff, I don't know what to tell you. You want to hear all the hits, I don't know what to tell you. This band is doing something for everyone. But you may not hear Ants Marching. You may not hear Satellite. Right? Where has Satellite gone? I don't care. Right? I don't care. These shows are amazing. I was able to listen in. Michael had a stream tonight. And later in the show, we'll talk about the Line Our Graves Reprise. Again, don't forget to hit that like button. I want to reach out to DMB Pit Boss right now, and we'll get a hold of him, see what he thought. Let me take my headphones off so I can hear a little clearer. Right. Okay, so we're going to hit up DMB Pit Boss, a.k.a. Joe. Let's hit him up. Let's get the graphic up. Thank you guys for coming in to the stream. DMB Post Show stream with your boy, ConcertViz 34. All right.
Yo, my dude.
What up, DMB Pit Boss? Tell us about this show tonight. What did you think?
Dude, so I haven't checked the boards or anything, so this is like pure gut reaction. It was like the highest of highs, kind of, and the lowest of lows. It was like by far one of the most interesting Dave Matthews Band shows I've been to, I think, out of 55. I mean, the set list, literally, the show flow, I was very confused for like the first 15 songs of kind of what the song choices were. I mean, you know, it felt like I was playing the set list game and then just like scrolling and then stopping my hand in just wherever it landed. Like, I feel like that was how the set list was curated tonight. It sounded friggin' awesome. I mean, you know, every time they do. But I would have to say, without the Warren Haynes, I was like, this is one of the. I don't want to put it out there, but I was like, this is like not one of my favorites.
Okay, so what songs were kind of like? What were the lowest of lows?
I just felt like the encore, like the encore choices for this tour have been, like, I agree with you, like. This tour is the best they've sounded, and like overall as a whole, this is like the best tour since I've started following them in like 2007. This is like the best in like kind of the last 10 years, I would definitely say. But I mean, like the So Damn Lucky, final song encore, it doesn't make sense to me. That to me is like a let's talk about that in like 12 through 16. I think American Baby intro was incredible. Like that was definitely a high point for me. And I know you're a big Virginia in the Rain guy, but I mean, just that is, I love that in the E1 spot. I think that is where it like makes sense. Or like early on in the show, like as an opener, I don't know how I feel about that. And yeah, I mean, you know, it just was kind of all over the place. Like, I think kind of the Warren Haynes, you know, sit-in kind of saved it for me. You know, but you know, and that's kind of my on the set list. That was kind of where I was coming from here. I mean, the Lion Our Graves was sick. I'm waiting for the reprise. I might just have to start traveling to if it gets reprised. But yeah, like it was a very interesting compared to Homedale. It was a much different vibe.
So you guys get You Might Die Trying, Big Eye Fish into Lion Our Graves. First Big Eye Fish not into Bartender since 2019 in Amsterdam. So you get You Might Die Trying, Big Eye Fish, Lion Our Graves, Cha Cha, Boa, American Baby Intro, Break Free. That's not a run. Like, what do you like? That I'm looking at that and I was listening to it. Obviously, I wasn't there, but I'm like, that there, Die Trying all the way to Break Free is a run. What would you say?
Yeah, it's a run. I would say it's a run for like I would consider I've been to 55 shows. Like I would consider that definitely like a run of like, some stuff that, for the Jones Beach crowd, I'll say it, like I've been, that's kind of my hometown turf. It's like 10 minutes from me, usually they mix in a few more of the, I'm going to say it, the radio stuff. Like you got to give the people like 3 or 4 of those. And I would say they kind of like, you can get away with like some of, some of those, even Best of What's Around, when you really think about that is, it's a classic DMB song. But, I was with one of my buddies who's like a big DMB guy. He was like, I knew 4 songs that they played, up until, the last like 5 songs of the night. Okay. So I'm just going, I was kind of with him. So I'm kind of like going off of like, he's like a mid-level, DMB enthusiast. Do you know what I mean?
So you wanted more hits. You wanted more radio hits for this show.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not like, I mean, like, like me as a hardcore fan, I was like, yeah, like, American Baby Intro, the Big Eyed Fish and the Lion Our Graves, like that was a huge curveball, which like, anytime, like, like over the last couple of years, you can usually predict where it's going to go. And like, personally, I loved that. And I think, obviously when you followed up with Lion Our Graves, that's a banger. But at the same time, like, you got to throw in, if you're going to do that set, you got to throw in a satellite for, for the guys who are, bringing out their girlfriends and, or the girlfriend who's bringing out her boyfriend to the show. People do their research. They check the first 10 songs that are most played on Spotify. So you got to throw those people a bone. A lot of those times it's the DDs.
Okay, so you wanted more of that. And I know someone said last year that Jones Beach, there's fans that, because Long Island's just its own, to me, where I spent some time there visiting friends at Hofstra. I've been to like 15 Islander Flyers games. So I've spent time on Long Island. Would you say like there's a lot of fans who only go here to this show? Okay. That's what someone said last year. Okay. So the crowd is more of a radio friendly. They're not going to be chasing these guys around to West Palm Beach or Camden or anything. Okay. So the crowd, typically you're getting more hits here because of that.
Because, like, dude, the South Shore of Long Island, like, dude, even logistically, like, getting to this venue from, like, New York City, which is, like, technically close, is, like, a living nightmare. Luckily, I literally live, like, the beach next to it, so it's, like, I got home in, like, 10 minutes. But it's a hike, so a lot of these people, it's a lot of, like, Nassau County and right over the border of Suffolk County. So, like, this is really the only show, maybe outside of Forest Hills, they go to. Because they're not going to Homedale. Like, if they're a huge diehard, they're probably going to SPAC. They're probably going to Homedale. Like, I went there last night. But, it is a lot of casual fans. Like, that's, that was my tailgate crew. It was, about 60% like super casual fans who maybe haven't been to a show in like 4 or 5 years.
Okay. And what did you think of Warren Haynes? So he does Melissa. Cortez and Two Step. First Two Step he's been on since '94 with the band.
That was like very. I mean, dude, Warren Haynes is like literally just a master class and just shredding the shit out of the guitar. The fact that he guested on Two Step, like that was one of the best. I will say that was one of the best Two Steps like I've ever heard. I think I've seen it maybe like 15 times. That was definitely the best I've heard. Like just having him on that tune was sick. And Melissa is one of my favorite songs like ever. And that was like that really threw me for a surprise in like the most awesome way. Like they crushed that. Like that like I don't mind with like the cover stuff. Like, you know, if Warren Haynes is on, it's like, dude, play whatever you want, dude. You're a friggin' living legend.
Yeah, and I'm biased too. I got my Allman Brothers poster right down the stairs. I got my Government Mule poster right over there, and his tone alone is something that to me just brings energy to anything he does. His awareness to building up solos, his awareness of everyone around him, is amazing.
Dude, I mean, I think had his like tube amp like literally mic'd up, and like it literally sounded like I was like, you know, maybe like I was in section like 4L, and it was like you literally felt like you were in the living room, like hearing him play the electric guitar. Like just how it was mic'd up was like the sound on that was friggin' incredible, dude. Like it was like, you know, for Cortez, you know, I mean, that's an iconic collaboration on a cover. But yeah, the guitar tone, it literally felt like he was playing in your living room.
That's awesome. And the last Cortez for this one I saw, that was me at the Gorge in 2019. That was my only one. So it's been a while.
I know that was at 2019 was the last time. I think I've been very blessed where I think I've seen that now 3 times. Randall's Island, I think in like 05, and then MSG, and then tonight. And you know, just like I don't know, have you been to Jones Beach?
No.
I mean, I will say this: it's like no matter what's happening, it's like on a good weather night, it's the best place in the world. Like I do highly recommend to anybody who's listening, like call the day off from work because it's going to be like a Tuesday or Wednesday. But you're overlooking the ocean. There's like a great ocean breeze, and it was like it's just so chill. So it's like at the end of the day that you can't really look into it too much because like Jones Beach can be very like hit or miss show wise, but I was, you know, you can't friggin' beat just it's 75 degrees and there's like a cool ocean breeze and Warren Haynes is shredding on the guitar. I mean that was pretty. You can't top that.
Yeah, and that was the first. And this to read it, that's the first full band. I believe there was some Dave and Tim and Warren. First full band was 2019. Any other final thoughts before we let you go?
Yeah, man. I will say this, dude. I'm on Buddy watch. I'm on Buddy vocal watch. He's been, you know, with stand up kind of falling out of the rotation, and you know, a few of those other songs. I want to hear him on the pipes for a verse or two on a show.
On the organ?
I want to hear him sing I want to hear him sing a verse or two, you know, on the refrains and whatnot. I feel like I haven't really heard that since like early in the tour with whatever the new one is.
After Everything.
Yeah. Give me like a little I'll say it. I'm going to free stand up, dude. That's my final thought. I'm sure people will love that.
No, we're not freeing stand up. That we're not.
Free stand up.
No. We have him. We have Buddy on the So Damn Lucky outro. He is focused on the keys. He sings Walk Around the Moon Support. He is doing great, but we're not going to bring back stand up. I will veto stand up coming back. They're playing the right stand up songs right now. You Might Die Trying, American Baby intro, and I'm trying to think of some other one, but like those are the Hello Again.
I think you're missing one. I think you're missing one big one. Bayou, dude.
Sorry, you're breaking up. Your phone's breaking up. I We can't hear you here. But anyway, thanks for coming on, and have a good rest of your night. Take care.
All right, my dude, take it easy.
All right. All right. Yeah, we're not bringing stand up back. We're not bringing that. Like, this tour is too good right now to be like that. So interesting take again. Someone from the island, that wanted more hits for the people he knows that come here that are casual. So there's good perspective there. It seems like that's what. But I mean, again, I'm gonna take Die Trying, Big Eye Fish, Graves, Cha Cha, Boa, ABI, Break Free. I'm gonna take that run over anything. There. All right. Speaking of Long Island, we're gonna bring on another guest from this region. And let me just set everything up. And he was on last night. It looks like he's back at the crib already. We're gonna bring on Zach. Zach,
Hey.
how you doing?
Hey, my man, what's going on? I apologize. I look like crap.
You just came from a show. No one's gonna judge you. This is not. You're not an Instagram model. So tell us about this show. What did you think of the set?
This set was really nice. I mean, when Virginia in the Rain opened, the sad part is that the fans did not receive it very well. And to be fair, on the one hand, I'm not too thrilled with it as an opener, but on the other hand, they're trying new stuff, so I'm perfectly fine with that. And then as you go throughout, like, I'm in the minority that I'm actually kind of excited that Seven is back, but Seven is a great song so long as you don't play it to death. So, like, if you play Seven like 7 times during a tour, or maybe even less than that, it's great. It's awesome. Don't give it to me for more than half the shows, because you don't need that. And then, I mean, even going through there, like, you had some slump spots with, like, Walk Around the Moon and Looking for a Vein, which the crowd did not receive well. They just, a lot of walking around and all that. But basically from You Might Die Trying all the way through basically Madman's, that whole entire middle section of the show was just ramp up and ramp up and ramp up. And the band sounded great. Fans were really into it. And the fans even had a pretty solid reception to Cha-Cha, which I was really surprised about. Seems to have gained a lot of favor from the fans. And then, I mean, Warren coming back was... I had a feeling he was going to come back purely because he's out here on Long Island next week, this coming weekend for the Great South Bay Music Festival. But I don't think I've ever seen a guest short of like a touring, like an act that is touring with the band. I don't think I've seen a guest show up at 2 separate nights at 2 separate venues ever. I'd have to do a lot of digging in the almanac to see if that's an actual thing, but I think this might be a first.
Yeah. That's definitely a special treat to see them go on 2 different stops without, like you said, them being an opener for the band. And because that's what happened the last time Warren and Government Mule were the opener for Saturday, Sunday of Gorge 2019.
Right.
That was the last time you got Warren back to back. Now, this venue, talk to us about the sound, talk to us about the ambiance of the venue, talk to us about being at a show at Jones Beach.
Sure. So, I mean, Jones has been my home venue ever since I was a kid, and I have had the pleasure of being to every Jones Beach DMB show since night 2 of 2012, with the exception of one, but I was away at school. And to be fair, like, there is a lot of a casual fan base that shows up to these shows, but then again, a fair amount of people that show up to these shows are casuals to begin with. The thing that's happened with Jones Beach is, first off, it's a beautiful venue to look at. I mean, you're literally watching them play on the water. It's an incredible thing to watch. The acoustics aren't that great because you're getting tons and tons of tons and tons of actual wind coming off of the ocean. that can cause a lot of phasing, and like there have been times where it's, especially if you're in the uppers, it does not sound great, which is why a lot of people really try to keep themselves into the lower bowl or lower orchestra. Um, and Jones Beach has undergone kind of a weird transformation in the past 10 years, at least into the Dave universe. Um, Partially because it used to be some place where the fan base could afford to do a 2 night run, and it would be a solid 2 night run. Especially, you're talking the mid 2000s, even a little earlier than that. And then from there, ticket sales kind of dried up around here. So it became a once a year, or sometimes they would skip it altogether. And then it got relegated to basically being either the SPAC pregame or the SPAC after party, which isn't necessarily a bad thing to some degree. You would kind of just get a greatest hits of what would be played at SPAC. And I think 9 times out of 10, that's kind of what I would expect for a midweek show. And they were usually, Jones Beach is usually one of the better midweek stops. The band loves playing there. Dave loves playing there. Um, and tonight it showed. Dave was visibly happy to be there. The fans gave him a warm welcome. And I think the set list kind of speaks for itself to a degree, that like we're seeing a really interesting and incredible time in the band's history right now. I think that this is some of the best music they've been playing in the better part of 10 years. There's better synergy on stage. The set lists are being written correctly in terms of knowing the energy, knowing the audience, and everybody just seems to be having fun. All I keep hearing is like old fans that, started in the late 90s or in the early 2000s saying, especially for an album year, this tour is going really well, especially once we got to July. June and May were kind of touch and go to some degree.
Yeah, and I with the set list writing, I remember the first week or two of shows, and it felt like the new album songs were sucking the energy out of sets. And I love these songs. I love Ocean and the Butterfly. I love It Could Happen. Um, and I think they also, my conjecture is they've removed After Everything. I think they've done that because it's a hard song for a casual fan or a diehard fan who hasn't really rocked with the album. It's a hard song for someone to sing along with. It's a hard song to execute, and the payoff, the reward for performing it doesn't always translate to crowd reaction.
I can agree with that. I mean, I personally, when it comes to After Everything, it was one of my least favorite tracks of the entire new album. I'm also not a huge Beatles guy, so I don't have that affinity with it. Um, and I think that you've got a pretty good theory in terms of it just not translating live well. I don't think that it's in its form that it is right now. It feels weightless. It's got no oomph. It just is kind of like a weird random jam session in the middle. And I think that to a degree, that's kind of why they said, oh, let's balance it out with, I Want You So Heavy, because at least the fans can be like, oh, cool, Beatles tune. And then unfortunately, it causes confusion because people are like, what the hell is this last bit at the end? And
Yeah.
why is Dave screaming and why is Buddy screaming? And like, no, stop that. I think that, is it a bad song? No. I don't think that it translates well live. I think that it's a great love letter that Dave has written clearly for, Sergeant Pepper's era Beatles, which is fine. And that's frankly, in my opinion, where it can stay.
Yeah. And speaking of Buddy, what have you seen from him? I mean, I trust your analysis and your knowledge with mixing sound and analyzing these players. What have you seen from Buddy in the last couple of weeks of being on tour, that may be different from previous legs of this tour or even previous years?
I think Buddy Buddy is continuing to evolve and take more liberties with his style. I mean, he's an incredible player. He brings a great amount of energy to the band. Um, I think that, he's still doing a great job with backing vocals. He's really growing a lot more in terms of his liberties with his soloing, piano and synth wise, which is great. I think that he has been putting out some much more butch vibes. I know that that's a bad word to some people. Oh, God forbid you bring up Butch Taylor, but especially these past couple of performances of ABI, he's really seemed to channel that style of playing, being not only bombastic when he wants to or needs to, but knowing where he can sit in the pocket and knows how to mix well. And he sounds great. He's doing an incredible job with it, and I'm excited to see him keep doing this and see where it leads. I mean, there's tons and tons of opportunity for his playing to get better and more gelled with the band.
Yeah, and I even think back to It Could Happen. In the verse, he has some very subtle runs on piano that he plays in the background, and it reminds me of what Butch would do. I never saw Butch live, but listening to a lot of the classic live tracks and taper recordings from the Butch era, he's just subtly filling in piano, and I think he's kind of learned that the organ doesn't always mix well with this band. So he's scaled back from 2018, and now he's scaled back on that organ, and he's playing more keys. He's using synth, he's using the Rhodes, he's using other instruments, but I think he learned that organ has to be used sparingly. And he's channeling in that piano. The Graves tonight again, just from the stream on Twitter, just hearing that piano be much more of a presence was awesome, and I can't wait to hear your tape. But it's definitely great to see that there's growth with him as far as learning. He's a class A++ player, but you're seeing that he's learning where he belongs, and I felt like he's always had a spot like morale wise. He's always been, from day one, he's made an impact, but he has completed the challenge of really being comfortable with this material. It is not easy for anyone to hop in with this band long term. You can guess for a song, you can guess for a show, you can guess for a weekend, but it is incredibly hard for any musician to have to be able to play a different set every night, even if 3 or 4 songs are repeated from the night before, and do this on the intensity and the marathon like pace that they do this at. So kudos to Buddy. We've seen Jeff have an advantage of guessing with the band. We've seen Rashawn have some time with Leroy Moore to ease into it. And Tim Reynolds has always been a collaborator with this band from the early days in the studio and just are in out and about. But Buddy really came in cold turkey, or not cold turkey. He came in with limited knowledge of DMB and has embraced this role in the band, and he has a following. So it's great to see that. So we end with Jones Beach. Are you doing any other shows this year?
That's a great question. There's a good possibility that I pick up Camden night 2 this weekend. I can't make it to night 1. There's also a very good possibility I'm down in Alpharetta and Orange Beach. And I think that I end this summer tour. Well, actually, I know I end this summer tour out at the Gorge this year.
Oh, you're going to the Gorge?
Yeah, that got dumped on me. So I will be out at the Gorge. It'll be my first time since 2016.
Wow. So that's which is again that year and that final show for full show for Mr. Tinsley. That's a landmark weekend there. And the poster, did you have time to see if the poster sold out today, or I know you have to
I'm
take your
like
equipment.
I'm about 95% sure that the poster sold out, and especially for the history of Jones Beach posters, um, we've had some rather rough ones, but with James Flames last year, which was incredible, and then the artist for tonight, Juan O, I believe his name is, or something like that. He's actually he's the in-house artist for Stick Figure. If you're into the reggae scene, and I'm tangentially familiar with his work, and he did a bang up job on this. And what's cool is like a lot of these more interesting and fun posters that we're seeing this tour are all coming out of one collective. It's F4D, which is Tim Soto's group, and that's where you've got like Max 42 or whatever it is, and all of those other really cool niche artists that are all collaborating under one printing house. And I sent a message to Tim today. It's so nice to see that Red Light and Dave is kind of taking the chance on a lot of these more niche artists, and especially going through this with this collective and giving them a fair shake this tour. And there have been no misses from them in terms of what they've put out this year. They have been putting out some incredible posters, and I'm excited to see them take a larger chunk of potentially, the next tour or next summer or whatever. I think that they're doing a great job.
Yeah, I actually messaged Juan because I tagged him on um, Instagram. Once the poster was on the poster groups, I put it up on Instagram, and then he kind of replied with some like emojis, and I said, "Listen, love your poster, and I love what F4D is doing." And I think what's great about that is it gives a fresh perspective. We know Methane has had a lot of time with this band, and I listen. I bought the Methane at Gilford, but I think it's to just have, like you said, these niche artists have a chance with DMB. They're bringing fresh ideas to the fan base. This was a poster that once it was up on the warehouse and the poster groups, there it was sold out immediately. Like people were like, "It's up, boom, it's sold out." This is one that people were asking for poster buddies on social media, on Twitter. Hey, can someone buy this for me at the show? And that's just the freshness of some of these designs is something that I love to see with this poster community, because it's something that's hard. This band tours more than Fish, Pearl Jam, Foo Fighters. I see many of my favorite artists doing different prints for these other bands, but these other bands have a tour and they may not tour for 2 or 3 years, or they only have a handful of shows. I look at Fish, they only have so many shows and they're not doing 40 shows a year. And the Dead and Company, they're done. That's it. So everyone who's doing the Dead and Company print now, obviously they're contracted with other, but that's it. There's no more Dead and Company. They had their run. So it's DMB has been going and going and going every year. Even the pandemic year, we had a couple posts. Obviously, only a couple, but it's a lot of shows and a lot of posters. So it's hard to reinvent the wheel. But having different artists taking chances, like you said, is definitely something that's paid off for this tour. Any other final thoughts about Jones Beach for tonight?
I think that this was a overall well above average show for Jones Beach. I think that the casual fans were probably not too thrilled with this show. I'll give it that. This this set list was mostly tailored for older fans and more deep cuts. But listen, for show 102 for me, I'm not going to complain. So I think that everybody should be pretty overall psyched with this, and I'm excited to dig into my recording and see how it sounds.
Yeah, I can't wait for that to come out. And I think with the way this ticketing, this is probably a conversation we can have for another show, but I'm looking at just like there was a rapper, Little Baby, who had to cancel a bunch of arena tours. Now, I think that he should have never did arenas, but there's a lot of ambitious contracts being signed, comedians through Live Nation, and also musicians, where they're ambitiously trying to make back the money they lost during the pandemic, and the economy is going down. People can't afford every show. They'll pay for Taylor Swift, they'll go broke for Beyonce, but they're not going to pay for a mid-tier act. And I say that to say that this band, DMB, doing these unique shows for the diehard fan, is going to be something that may impact their sales. In the people are still going to be willing to try to sacrifice travel for DMB over some other bands who are going to feel staler. Yeah, pandemic's over. Yay. Okay, why am I paying for this band? Why am I paying to see Blink 182? Cool, they came back. Mark, Tom, and they're all back. What are they doing unique that I need to see them the next, like in 2 years? So I think DMB is positioning themselves in a market that's going to be. I don't care what happens in the next 2 or 3 years. It's the ticket hype and going to shows and taking selfie at shows. I think it's peaked for people to go to everything. They're going to be picking this act or that act, and I think that you're going to see some acts have some empty seats or have to struggle or change venues with this pandemic ending.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And also, just one kind of final thought that I was just coming through as we were talking about that. Tonight when I got to the venue, I saw tonight going one of two ways. We've been on a great run with DMB in terms of shows, and I saw tonight as the delineation point where the band could take one of two routes. It was either going to be route A, which is a path of least resistance, and that's the band saying, all right, look, we've done all these crazy shows, we've got these last 6 shows that we have to do before we go off and hang out at home for the better part of a month. Let's just kind of cruise into that and just chill out, and we can all go on our own August vacation happy. Or you take route B, which is, nah, dude, we're already full steam ahead. Let's throw some more coal on the fire and let's just keep going. And the choice is clear. This band is very much taking route B, and I have a feeling that we are not done with ridiculous shows that are going to come out over the next 2 weeks. And I hope to God that Dave and the band are resting up well, because they've got 2 days to rest up before another 2 stop, and then another 2 days to rest, then 2 more. This is the roughest part of their schedule, and I hope that they're all maintaining themselves really well right now.
It definitely is. So they go down to Camden. It's only going to get hotter and more humid, and that's going to play a factor. They go down to Camden, metropolitan Philly, and then they go down back to the south, and now it's July, and they got a lot of shows coming up before that break. So we'll see what happens in Camden, and it's great that they're taking the Titanic approach minus the iceberg, full steam ahead.
Let's hope there's no iceberg.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, Zach, for being on, and enjoy the rest of your night. Get some sleep, man. I know you've been on your grind, your regular job, your taper passion, and everything you're doing with taping. But get some sleep. I had to remind myself too. Get some sleep, man.
I will try my hardest, my dude. I will talk to you later. Right? Good
right.
seeing you as always, Marcus. Take care.
Bye. Yeah. So this is a interesting occurrence. This is not your typical album tour, and to me, this has been the best album tour. I was not on the Big Whiskey. I was not going to shows when Big Whiskey came out, that album tour. I don't really see the need to listen to a lot of Big Whiskey, and I think those sets were overpowered with Big Whiskey. There were some solid shows, but I say that to say that with Away from the World, Come Tomorrow, on this is the best. This is the best one. Hines says, "Are you? No one's going to talk about the 2-step." Well, this is the first two-step since '94 where Warren has guested in. It was incredible listening in. Shout out to Michael W. Hey, Mike, do you want to come on? Let me know in the comments. I sent you a link. But I am going to wrap it. Oh, we're already at an hour. And sorry, there's other Michael S from Instagram. I'm sorry. I think, yeah, is that Michael S? A lot of Michaels I know here. Yeah, Michael S. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're going to have to, yeah, because it's already an hour and I got to get some sleep. Got to get that running in the morning. But let's see what people are saying on before we get to the Graves thing. Oops. It's your boy Young Concert Vids. People saying. He says Bayou is a good song. I put a video out on this. Yeah, I put a video out on this, and if you like it, you like it, right? Where did Bismarck go? I don't honestly, personally, and I've already seen Bismarck. I could care less. Like if Bismarck is played, cool. But the stuff like American Baby intro, I'll take that over Bismarck. And the thing is, it's not even like what I want. This band is they're presenting stuff in a way that is just so A1 and good that I'm just enjoying it. Hello Again was not something I was like chasing in this tour, but it was very solid at SPAC night 2. I know that's a favor for other people, but I don't dive much into stand up like that. But Hello Again was solid at SPAC night 2. And to me, I don't need the hits for this band. I don't. And I understand the majority of the fans when they play Ants, if they played every day, I don't need every day on this tour. I don't like. I mean, I'm done with the tour for the summer tour. But like, I don't need every day. Same thing. That was my argument with Bayou. Everything that Tim and Buddy do on Bayou, everything that you may say is good about it, they are doing it on other songs, which are to me better songs. Let's see what people are saying here. Get your bingo cards ready. We talked to DMB Pit Boss, highs, lows, lows. Brett Mazo or Manzo. You're Mazo in the chat. Okay, so you said you were at the show. First half was a little slow. Not a big fan of Virginia opening, but it was cool. I get it. Hello Again was awesome. And once Big Eye Fish started, the rest of the show was awesome. The crowd was definitely in it for the casual crowd. The crowd was definitely of a casual crowd. It was low energy around me, but the song selection was on point. Two-step was insane. In the full outro too. Warren was fired. Dave could have rotated one or two more quick hits like Crash or Gray Street to get casuals happy, but still, the second half of the set was so freaking amazing. Fire, awesome show. So yeah, and that's one thing is what's kind of shocked me about these shows is that you have Jones Beach where they gotta get it. Like this band does a great job of attending to the crowd they're playing. So for a show like Jones Beach, they may have one or two. They probably will play Ants, right, or Crash Into Me. They typically will do that, but they said, "Listen, we're on a tear right now. We'll get a couple songs they may know, but we're gonna kind of go off on this tangent and do what we want." So and what I like was cool about and I saw this because again Michael was streaming the show on Twitter. Your boy is banned. I don't know how, but I'm banned from Couch Tour. So I don't know what happened. And it could have been again. It may have been from my People in Every Direction band some years ago. Anyway, I was able to actually to check in on the stream that on Twitter, and I guess that's cool that Twitter has its own stream. I think it was like last year or beginning of this year I started seeing people do stuff, and I actually go. Some of my post show streams this year were piloted on Twitter. I'm deciding to keep it on YouTube for now. But anyway, I saw that Dave switched guitars and they were the same color, which means he was going from his 12-string Big Eye Fish to the standard 6-string for anything standard tuning. And what's cool about what they did with Big Eye Fish in the Lion Our Graves, Big Eye Fish, when it goes into bartender, they go into a D, the key of D for bartender. And Lion Our Graves is in the key of D to start off. So they still kind of had that spirit of how they go from Big Eye Fish to bartender, and they changed to the key of D, but they just did Lion Our Graves. Great execution. I think they should do that. It just was a cool thing to see. Cha-Cha getting another play. I think Hines said in the chat it should have been on the album. I don't think. Here's my thing. If they're gonna continue to play Cha-Cha, it doesn't matter if it was on the album or not. And I thought it was a great thing that this album was short, and then you add in Cha-Cha, and it's not like you have a whole hour and 15 minutes of songs you're ignoring to play Cha-Cha. No, you have an album that's around 45 to 45 minutes. 40 to 45 minutes is the new album. So when you add Cha-Cha, that's just one more song. And it's live. It's great live. We don't need a studio version. Maybe they'll make one and make an EP or something with it down the road. But like this stuff, like there was an argument, Help Myself should have been on Before These Crowd Streets. No, Help Myself can be played live and it's fine live. I don't need it. And I think it was on the Scream 2 soundtrack anyway. All right, let's talk Lion Our Graves. Now, I've seen this happen. Well, I've seen this conversation pop up, and it pops up every now and then. Does Lion Our Graves need the reprise at the end? And I know there's a lot of people that get mad about it. And to me, I really don't care. I don't care if they in Lion Our Graves. I can't believe that we would lie. And it's not that I don't like it, but there's nothing new really to that part. Dave's playing the same parts with his hands. Might have been, could have been, maybe, but like they're saying all that stuff before. And they did finish it tonight. And what was crazy on Reddit today, somebody was like, and listen, I know it's their perspective, but they were like, oh my gosh, I was watching the Couch Tour and Bella was guesting at SPAC Night 2 and they didn't finish Lion Our Graves. And I'm like, yo, first I was there. And even if I wasn't there, just the fact that Bella Fleck came out and the fact that Lion Our Graves was not even on the set list. And even today, I talked to people on Twitter. I've seen this be a conversation throughout all the various social media stuff. I don't care if they reprise Lion Our Graves. I think it would be cool if they reprised it later in the show. And they've done that. It's very rare, but they've done that before. Yeah, the Captain reprise is better. And that's the thing. That is exactly, Hines makes a great point. The Captain reprise, yes, it is similar, but the Captain reprise gains a whole new gear of energy. And I know Hines, he loves that high energy, boom, 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 bust down the door type stuff. Hines loves that high energy type stuff. It's not a funeral. Hines doesn't want these shows that are slow and sad. He wants the high energy stuff. The Captain reprise, the Fool to Think reprise, the Old Dirt Hill reprise from Gilford And guys, take a look. I'll have the Gilford videos up very soon. Night 1 is pretty much done. I'm just waiting for some videos to possibly upload. One guy said he may upload them to YouTube. But like in the last stop reprise, the line I just put that up. When it comes to reprises, the Lion Our Grave reprise doesn't do much more. It's just it. I understand how some people want that resolution. It's the same stuff. You don't get the best things that Bella could do in Lion Our Graves were in that solo part. The best things that Tim and the band can do is in the solo parts or at the beginning of that song or the middle of that song. Anything from I can't believe that we would lie in our grave. Like it's just it's cool to get that finality, but it's not the end all be all. It does not even get higher energy. Now people get excited for a second, but then it gets slower. Quieter. Would you not like to be? And then it just ends. Da, 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 do, 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 do. But the last stop, that reprise, whatever you want to call it, the ending of the last stop is a whole different section of the song. In something that DMB, that's what really makes when you change the whole tune of a song, like the last stop reprise or whatever you want to call it, outro, whatever you want to call it. That brings a whole new layer to the song, and that's where you can get away with a song being 10, 15, 20 minutes when you have a whole different B part or C part, and then you build around that. Last Stop was played here a couple, 18 or 19. They had a rain out and they played the Last Stop the next show. Like that was awesome. But I don't think they did I don't think they did that. Like to me, that is criminal when they play the Last Stop without that, because there's so much more substance. The Lion Our Graves reprise is like eating the food at college cafeterias. It looks good, and for the first couple of tastes, it seems good, but after a month or two of eating that, it's not good. Lion Our Graves, the main part of that, the 90% of it will be awesome. Right? But it is, listen, I'm not opposed I'm not like mad when they finish it. I don't care. And J-Bo there. J-Bo was at us. I met J-Bo right before SPAC night too. Man, when Bella did that stuff, the last thing I was thinking about. Now I understood, I did see like there were some groans in the crowd, but I was like, yo, Bella Fleck is here. I don't care that there was no reprise. Bella Fleck played and soloed and brought us back to an era of the band that was more acoustic percussive. As you hear him really give that bluegrass vibes with the banjo to an awesome song, which fits the banjo perfectly. So that's my thing about that's my take on the reprise, is that I understand if you like it, but I'm just saying it in the scheme of things. Someone said not a good opener and a terrible encore song. I also look at shows. I think I look at shows differently, and this is I'm more of the John Dix approach, and I'm right. My next show will be my 50th. At this point, if I could just get a good run of songs in the middle of the show or anywhere, it could be the encore, it could be the opener, the closer, I'm happy. Like I don't freak out. I know some people don't like So Damn Lucky ending shows. But like if this band, like even let's just look at SPAC night 1, okay? Let's take a look at SPAC night 1, and let's just imagine, let's play, I don't like hypotheticals, but I'm gonna do it because I can do what I want. It's my stream now. But like let's look at this. Let's look at this show. And imagine if they don't play Virginia in the Rain and Two-Step. Imagine if they play So Damn Lucky to close out this show. You get a Stone, a Busted Stuff, American Baby intro, a Fish Tender, right? A Watchtower not in the encore. If they close out with So Damn Lucky, I'm fine because I got all this meat in the main set. All this meat is in the main set. Streets got to eat. We got to eat that. I also like them actually. Here's my thing. Even if it was a song that I'm not too high on, like you guys know I love Virginia in the Rain for many different reasons. But even if it was another song, I'd rather have that than the 50th One Sweet World of the tour. And we've seen that in the last couple of tours. We've seen them just play these openers to death. Oh, When the World Ends. Oh, sweet. Like, no. Hey, open up a show with Virginia in the Rain. To take that risk. I like them taking the risk. And you guys, listen, you have the right to not like it. But I like it. I like them taking that risk. Virginia in the Range 7 as an that's a bold move. I'm not a huge fan of 7. I agree with Zach. I think in moderation it's good. I would say three or four times a tour, my personal preference. But like this opening run the band did, this was a risk, especially for the venue. How many shows have we gone without When the World Ends? I think they played it in Gilford. I think that was the last. Did they play it in here? But look, we'll look to see. When the World Ends. Dun, 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 and don't you worry about last played July 11th. Yeah, that was Gilford, right? First week of Gilford. Oh, I'm editing this video. I should know that. So the last time it was played was Gilford Night 1. That was literally a week ago. Oh, wait, no, it's Wednesday. Why don't I think it's Tuesday? It's Wednesday. So it was like just over, it was 8 days ago. But I like these songs sitting down and taking a rest and reflecting. Because we already got 15 When the World Ends. We'll get Michael on real quick. Michael W, who streamed, we got to give him his props. Before we get him on, and I have to turn off the audio, let's give him a little cheer. It was a stream where you could actually say, you could tell jokes without being banned. We appreciate that.
Bruh.
We were able to mess around, have some fun, as long as it's respectful and no one was personally attacked. Just stuff that you don't get in other places. It was great to have that. So thank you, Michael, for streaming. Be able to get that there. So check that out. If he does it again, I'll repost the links or retweet them so that you guys can see. But let's go ahead and bring Michael on. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? How we doing?
Good. So you made it back home?
Yeah, I was racing. I ran out of the venue, man. I literally I just ducked out. You know what I mean? I figured with the way everybody was kind of hanging out and moving, I was like, if I move fast, I could bail out. Dude, I'm in New York, so I needed to make time. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. So yeah, this show, tell us about it. I mean, we saw your reaction to certain things, but what would you think?
Yeah, man, it was awesome, dude. It was great. I loved it. I loved it. It was great. It's tighter and tighter and tighter, like we were talking about. It feels like he's trying to record one. It really feels like he's trying to put one down on an album or something. So, that'd be cool. But everybody was all about it by me. I mean, a lot of talking. It's a New York crowd, man. It's tough. But it worked out. Everything was good. The show flow was great. Everything's good. And, Warren Haynes, boom. You know what I mean? It was awesome.
Now, did you want Cortez? Did you not want Cortez? I know there's two trains of thought there.
Yeah. Tonight, absolutely. I wanted Cortez because he was there, and I knew he was all for it. So he played it. It was good. You know what? It seems like I remember it being longer. I mean, maybe because it was a PNC when I saw it. So but it was really good. It was a nice jam. It was solid. It was solid. And like you said, I was streaming, so it was cool to hang out with people, and they were really about it. So I know they were excited to see it. So that sort of energy just, it brings it to another level for me.
Yeah, and my only Cortez, my one and only Cortez, seemed like it flew by. I was so mesmerized. I'm a huge Allman Brothers Band fan. Government Mule, I mentioned that yet last night. So it it's one of those songs. If it was played, like if Warren popped in 5, 6 times a year, and you're a DMB fan who travels to a couple of different big venues, I think by then it would be like, okay, this thing's long. But because of the rarity of it and because it's used so sparingly, in the moment, being at the Gorge myself for that one 831 2019, that was a Saturday night of a 3-night stand. It flows, and I think that's one thing that's important, that at the show it goes by quick. Listening to it on a tape, listening to it on a live tracks, or listening to it what Central Park had it, right?
Yep.
So it can seem longer in that sense. If it's a Sirius XM stream and you're like, oh, you're hoping for all these special moments, and most 20 minutes of that stream is a Cortez, I think it hits different here. Poster, did you get the poster? Did you get in line for the poster?
It's on its way to the house already. I was fortunate enough to get in on the drop online. I was
Oh, nice.
watching for it. I was watching for it because on show days and stuff like that, I can if I don't have to worry about it, it's one less thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was insane as soon as it popped up. Just refreshing. I
Yeah.
loved it. I thought it was cool. You guys, everybody liked it. I think, right? It was
I think
gone at the venue.
overall people were very positive on it. And I think the studio, we talked about that earlier, the studio that made it, F4D Studios, is getting opportunities for these artists that have some unique takes and things like that here. So we heard you. You said the crowd was talkative around you.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy that it's like a lot of people. It's like a meetup. Like in front of me, there were two people that they weren't there to necessarily watch the music. They knew a few songs, but a lot of people were like, just like, oh, I know them from that row, and they'd go over and they'd walk over and they'd hang out and talk,
Oh,
just
okay.
straight up talk, like, and then they'd walk back and they'd talk. And I had people like this guy tried to talk through Melissa, but I was not having it. I literally just told him I shushed him straight up. I was very nice.
Because one thing,
And
listening to your excitement, I was like, I wonder how the people are around you, because it sounded like you were pumped up for these songs. I mean, if the Twitter DMB fan rented a whole row, we'd all be going, yeah, like, but it was just you, like, oh, this is awesome, going through the emotions of all these awesome songs. And again, it sounded like it was quiet around you for ABI, and the crowd picked up here and there, but like, and Warren came on, and you could hear the crowd was up into it, but it seemed like you were kind of all pumped up, and everyone around you was like, well, right, where's Ants marching?
yeah, that's kind of how it was. For somebody like me, it was absolutely a great show. But I mean, the normal bangers that you expect to hear at Jones Beach, like all the hits, he didn't really play them. We didn't get Ants, we didn't get too much, we didn't get so much to say. All the normal ones. Virginia and Rain as an opener, and Jones is kind of really a weird choice too. I mean, that beginning that's a Deep Tracks beginning. We love it, but
Yeah.
normal fans not going to feel Virginia and Rain 7 Hello again. They're going to be like, dude, what? And they were like, what's going on? So they continue to talk and talk and talk. And then, where did we pick up the fan base? Lion or Graves. You Might Die Trying, Lion or Graves, somewhere around there. You know, the casual fan base that Zach was talking about. You know what I mean? It was a great show, but you know, a lot of talking. But there were people that just were. I'm kind of an anomaly. You know what I mean?
Right.
I tend
Yeah.
to enjoy shows a little bit more than other people, but
Yes.
they were
Yes.
they were pumped. There was a couple down from me that were really they were really into it, and there was another woman. It was sparse, but Jones is a New York City venue. It's a spot to be. You know what I mean? Without an MSG spot, it's the only thing in the area. So it's seen and be seen is always what I kind of view it as. Like they're done up to the nines. So it's tough to win them over without the radio hits.
Gotcha. Yep. And it's summertime. It's right on the beach. Very popular. Let's look at this openers, and this is where, and we're gonna look at last year's tour in a second. But look at this. The most heavily used opener for this tour is Bismarck. Satellite has 3. One Sweet World has 3. Fool in the Rain has 3. 41 has 2. When the World Ends has 2. Pig has 2. Lion or Graves has 2. Virginia in the Rain, 1. Stare, Leave, 1. So that says a lot. The fact that Bismarck, which hasn't been played in a while, is still the top opener. Everything else has 3 or less plays as an opener. And let's just take a look at we're going to look at the 2022 summer. Now the tour was complete, but the top openers, look at this. You have one sold 8 times it opened a show. Now, you know, Bismarck is only 2 from there. Fool in the Rain had 4, everything else is 3. But like you had a lot, 8 tours opening with One Sweet World. That's a lot. So it's interesting to see even some of these other songs that are here versus that Granny opened 2 shows. So you're a lot of these openers, Bartender opened 2 shows. So it's cool to see how these rotate in and out year over year. Here. Any other final thoughts? We're gonna wrap it up. It's almost 1 o'clock.
Yeah. No, it's just it's good. It's good. I mean, I was in and out as I was driving home, and it was everybody they hit it all. The band's getting better. You know, they're going for it. Dave he's definitely having a lot of fun. If you saw, you know, we tried to catch a little bit out of the stream to see, you know, him joking and laughing and stuff like that. And along those lines, he's getting more serious where, you know, he's not flubbing as much. You know, he's definitely he's concentrating a little bit more. And when he missed a couple words tonight, he kind of looked up and he kind of shook his head, you know, not serious, but he seems to be caring a little bit more about not that they don't, you know what I mean? Like having fun versus let's get something down. You know, it seems like it's a lot better. And I don't know if that's because Warren has been here the past couple of nights and they've had some guests and it's like, all right, everybody, let's step our game up. Let's be professionals here and really, you know, try to put something down good. So it's spectacular. I mean, you know, all bets are off, no holds bar, right? I mean, they're going to keep rolling. So next 2 night stand's going to be interesting.
Yeah, are you going to Camden?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And just to give you guys perspective, Michael has just from Gilford here, this leg of the tour that he's gone to, and he's gone a lot more. What's you got 17 total this year?
Yeah.
But just from Gilford to now, he's got 3 big eye fish, 2 specific fish tenders, right? 3 Lionheart Graves?
Yeah, 3 ABIs.
3 right? ABIs. You've had shotgun,
Melissa and Cortez. It's
been insane. You've seen Clay Cook, you've seen Warren Haynes, you've seen Tia,
Joe Lawler.
Yeah, I'm trying to say how this. Joe Lawler on Cornbread, right? So you've seen 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 guests.
Yeah, the Northeast fan.
And one of those guests performed twice, back-to-back shows. So this is an incredible run of just stuff that you're gonna get. Multiple Drunken Soldiers from Gilford and SPAC. You've got an Old Dirt Hill, what, 3 times? It was played last night. It was played at SPAC. It was played at Gilford.
That's a great song.
You've
Cha-cha.
been sliding to the left, 2 hops this time. Cha-cha now, y'all. For 3 different ones, right? Because
So
you
good.
had
Tonight's was awesome, man, wasn't it? Whew.
I remember you know, I was checking in at that point. It was just really solid, and they're growing this song. So it's you've seen a lot. That just goes, that's a testament to this tour. That's just 1 week out of your 17 shows. That's not even counting all the other stuff. Just 1 week on tour, and they've had all these crazy things pop up. But anyway, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
get some
Thank you,
rest
Marcus.
yourself. Get some rest.
Yeah.
Recover, and then get ready to hit the road for Camden.
You know it, buddy. Thank you so much.
All
And
right, take care.
congratulations again. I didn't get to tell you. Congratulations on 2,000 subscribers, Marcus.
Oh, thank you.
That's a heck of an
Appreciate it.
accomplishment. Congratulations. Like and subscribe for him. All right, everybody. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. So that is it. Thank you, Michael, for coming on. We got 35 people pulled up here. Thank you guys for the support. This is a lot of people to be on at 12:47 a.m. And we'll be back, Camden. If you guys want to be on the streams, let me know. I try to fit as many people as possible. Like tonight, we couldn't get to the other Michael, but I am looking for different perspectives, different voices. That's why we got DMB Pit Boss to come up. There's no wrong. Well, I guess I will. I will give my opinion, but speak your mind, give your perspective. I don't believe in echo chambers. Right, DMB Pit Boss and I have different perspectives on certain songs. Michael likes certain songs I don't like. I like songs he doesn't like, and it's important to get varying perspectives from these shows and from the fan base. So let me. Oh man, it's been great. These shows have gotten me pumped up. We're going to close with the Ocean and the Butterfly. And actually, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give y'all an exclusive. Bear with me right now. Forget Ocean and the Butterfly. That was night 2. I don't have that video done. I'm going to give y'all a preview of what I'm working on with this Gilford night 1. So y'all going to get that exclusive. My external hard drive. And I'm going to give y'all this work. So this is the taper audio plus video. So let me load this up and then we're going to end the stream. Let's see if I'm going to get the project up. All right, we're going to give y'all an exclusive. Concert Vids exclusive. Dang, homie, where'd you find that? And this should be out in a couple of days. I'm still doing Gilford night 2, still doing the SPAC stuff. Let's see. Gilford night 1. We're going to pull this up. I'm going to cue this up for y'all. Let's see. I just got to find Let's see what we have. I feel like this is like the live tracks preview. All right. So we are going to. All right, I'm gonna show you guys. We are going to show you "Fool in the Rain." We'll show you the opener. You guys get a little sneak preview of this. All right, so you guys are gonna get the opener, "Fool in the Rain." Rain down on me. All right, so I'm about to play this here. It's your boy ConstantViz34. Definitely like, comment, and subscribe. And again, this is a preview of Gilford Night 1 coming soon. Taper audio, visuals. All right, let's play it. Let's drop this. Take care, guys. Peace.